This is the plaintiff, William Munoz. He says he was riding his motorcycle up a hill, and when he got to the top, he saw the defendant's car stop, blocking 2 lanes of traffic. He hit his brakes hard, but screeched into her car. She claimed he was speeding, but trust him, if he were speeding, he wouldn't be standing here right now. Even the cop said he'd have given her a ticket if he'd seen how she was blocking the traffic. Bottom line, he has $1,006.17 worth of damages to contend with, and the defendant owes him big time. These are the defendants, Randolph and Alita King. Alita says she was backing out of her driveway, and just as she'd put her car into drive, she heard a loud crash. Then she sees hands waving in her face, and the plaintiff yelling, "She just hit me, she just hit me." She got so mad the Sicilian came out of her because the plaintiff was the one who hit her. Owe him money for his own bad driving? She thinks not. They're accused of backing into a lawsuit. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $684 for damage to their car.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says he was riding his motorcycle when the defendant stopped right in the middle of traffic. And even though he hit her, he says it was squarely her fault. But she says she was moving along when she got nailed. It's the case of one vicious cycle.
Thank you, Douglas. William Munoz,
Yes.
You are suing Randolph and Alita King for $1,006.17. The damages to your motorcycle that came from an accident that you say was her fault. You have a counterclaim against them for $684, of course, for the same accident. What's going on?
I was driving down Amboy Road. I was on my lunch break. I came over a little hill, took a little tiny hill right before the defendant's block. And as soon as I went over that hill, she had pulled out of a driveway in reverse over a double yellow line into my lane. I hit my brakes, didn't have enough time. There was nowhere for me to go. So I wound up colliding into the rear of her car.
Into the rear of her car or into the side of her car?
No, the rear of her car. The rear.
Okay, come on over here and use this little map here to...
Okay, I was here. I was right here. She had pulled out in reverse. And can you see? I'm sorry.
I can see.
I right here, and that's when I swerved, and boom, it hooked the back of her car.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I hit. I hit her rear bumper, more, not exactly in the middle, but more towards the right side. But it was directly in the rear.
Okay. So you feel she's entirely responsible because she pulled out into oncoming traffic and you had the right of way?
Exactly.
Do you think she couldn't see you?
Maybe because of the little hill. Maybe she thought there was nobody there.
Did you see her before the hill?
No, not before the hill.
When you saw, from the time you saw her to the time of the collision, how much time passed?
Split second.
A split second.
It was that quick. Right. As soon as I came over the hill, her car was already in this lane. And I'm going this way.
You saw her pull out of the driveway?
Yeah, and that's when I hit the brakes.
Okay, go ahead and go back. Okay, can you wait a second? It'll be your turn in a moment. All right.
Like I said, I had maybe a split second to react. I hit the brakes.
What happened after the accident?
I was a little upset. I mean, I just, got into an accident. So I was cursing. When I saw the defendant come out, which was a female, I stopped cursing. Her first words were, "You were speeding, you were speeding." Not to see if I was okay, not to see if everybody was all right, just that I was speeding. I saw that she had kids in the car, so what I did was my motorcycle's front tire was wedged underneath her bumper. I had to pull it out because otherwise my bike would have fell. I had to pull it out from underneath her bumper. I pulled it back, I put the kickstand on, and I sat down on the curb. She then called the police, and we waited for the cops to come.
Okay. Is there a police report?
Yes.
May I see it?
Yes.
Did you take any pictures?
Not at the scene because I did not have a phone with the camera at that time.
Okay.
But I did take pictures. I went back a week later and I took pictures of the road.
Of the scene,
okay. the speed limits.
All right. Tell me what happened. Why don't you come on over here and show me? And we have a mic and start when you get there.
The plaintiff's motorcycle slammed into the defendant's car, but he says it's her fault because she pulled out into oncoming traffic. Let's listen.
First, I want to explain that the road is not like this. I have pictures to indicate that this is a completely straight road. There's no twists.
Okay, hold on. All right, what I see is actually this little sign here. What's that mean?
I don't know. I got to see where it is.
Come on. What is that?
This is nowhere where he came from. Actually, I don't know where this is.
Where is it?
My house is right here. You can see my house from here.
On the left?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
this
straight.
is the road that you say you were taking.
Yes, that
Okay,
mechanic
but a
shop is
hill
right.
is up and down. A hill is not sideways. And
Right.
this sign is to
Right.
show you that what? What does that sign mean? My daughter's taking the driving test tomorrow. Maybe I should ask her.
It's kind of like use caution. because it's a
Slippery
wavy
or
street.
curvy road?
Curvy road.
Curvy
It's,
road. Right, but curvy like this, and I don't even see it anyway, is not the same as a hill.
It's not. It's a tiny little hill.
Where is the hill?
Over at this point right here, right before her house, there's a little hill there. It's not a lot. It's not a big
You
hill.
didn't photograph the hill? I'm just going to take your word for it. I thought you were going to photograph that there was like an angle beyond which you couldn't see or something. I see a really straight road, and you say it's a straight road.
I have pictures to indicate the straight road. My husband last night took pictures from where this tiny, and I mean, it's a tiny hill. You can see that it's real tiny.
All right, well, apparently there's a tiny hill.
It's a tiny hill. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
so
It was
tiny,
just small hill.
Okay, let me see your pictures. Yeah.
You can see beyond the hill.
Right.
But let me explain. So here's my home. I don't have a car. I have a huge Eddie Bauer Expedition Extended, which is enormous.
Okay.
When I backed out of my driveway, and I do this every day, I left my house at about 1:20 because I had a 2:00 appointment for therapy.
You backed out of your driveway.
Yeah, I backed out.
Okay.
I had a 2:00 appointment for therapy for my twins. So I always leave extra time.
Were the twins in the car?
Yes, they
How old
were.
are the twins?
3.
Okay.
I waited. And when I backed out, there was no cars in either direction, none. I never back out with a single car coming, ever. Because these babies are the most precious things in the world. They were micro preemies who were pound when they were born.
What's a
And this is
micro preemie?
They were pound, and they went under a pound.
A pound?
And their
my gosh,
triplet,
like
their
fits
triplet
into your
passed
hands?
away. Yes, they fit in your hand. They were 11 inches, 10 inches, and 9 inches. So I don't take any chances when backing out of my driveway or going anywhere. Backed out of my driveway completely, put my car in drive. I didn't go anywhere yet. My car was in drive when all of a sudden I felt a little ping on the back of my car. Actually, I felt a ping. I didn't know where it came from. Looked at my side mirrors. I didn't see anything. I looked at my rearview mirror. At that time, I didn't see anything. I said, what was it? I thought it was an animal. I looked at my rearview mirror again, and all I saw were hands doing this.
Like he's standing up, but he's going like this?
He's
'cause
going like
upset?
this. He's
right.
upset.
Yeah.
And so I put my car in park. I got out of the car, and he was like, "You backed up into me." And I simply turned to him and said, and I knew he was okay because he didn't fall off the bike. He was still sitting on the bike. He wasn't off the bike. He was sitting on the bike when his hands were going up, so I knew he was fine. And I said, "You went into me." He said, "You backed into me." I said, "If I backed into you, wouldn't you be in my door or in my rear fender?"
No, it just depends on the timing.
Right.
Of the, see, it's very simple, okay? There's this, which is clearly your fault.
Right.
Okay, because that's oncoming traffic, and you were coming out in the middle of it. Then there's this, which is clearly his fault, and then there's in between a continuum. Okay, where it gets a little muddier.
The only thing
I want to
is I
see
was
the
stopped.
damages. I understand. He says you were backing up and you had just pulled out and he witnessed you pull. I understand what you were saying. I also understand what he's saying. So I have to figure out which of the two of you is lying.
No,
That's my job. Welcome to my world. All right. So just a moment, because I may have a question for you about that once I look at your pictures, and I want to see. These pictures were taken when?
She took pictures of the accident the day it
Are these
occurred.
them?
Yes.
Okay.
I took pictures last night of the actual road, the road conditions that you can see.
Okay.
This is the little damage. It was literally his front. Where is his front fender? That's what was under the car. This is $1,000 worth of damage.
Here are the cars. Mm-hmm. Mystery solved. Here are the cars. You're a little tilted.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, absolutely. I did back out, but I was in drive, ready to go. But absolutely,
Right.
I have to be
But
turned.
I know, but it's not like you were clear
I
and then
wasn't
you're
ready.
driving and then he rear ends
Right.
you.
My car was in drive, but it was not ready to go. I didn't turn the wheel
Right.
to
So
go.
what does that mean then? Doesn't that mean that you pulled out into oncoming traffic and he's oncoming traffic?
there was no traffic.
Okay.
It just so happened that he
Ma'am,
came.
do you understand that you're
There was
feeling,
traffic coming
obviously
on
there
the
was,
road.
because there was a
I
collision.
know.
All right, go ahead and go back over there. All right, so do you seriously contend that it's all his fault?
I think, to be honest, I think
I
I'm
virtually
not.
insist upon it when you're under oath.
I think that's funny. I think that I'm not 50% at fault.
Okay.
Only because when I did look, I did not see a single vehicle on the road. With my eyes, I did not see, and I don't take any chances, ever. However, he was
that's why
apparently
they call it
there.
an accident. It
But
wasn't intentional.
I just want to explain.
Yeah.
Yes, and I hate to say this, and I really do, but I think it was intentional, and there's a reason. By accident, his insurance company sent me a letter, and the letter said, "We wanted to let you know that this has been opened in the policy for the accident occurring on February 22nd, 2010. This accident happened July 17th, 2012.
Okay.
I believe that there was damage to his motorcycle already because he's claiming that the motorcycle has damage to the handlebars, which is where the brunt of
So you think he deliberately hit you so that he can
I'm
make
sorry,
a claim?
but
Really?
yeah, I really do. And the officer actually, after he saw the accident and told his partner what happened, he said, no, the accident clearly shows that you were completely out and established on Amboy Road when you were hit, so we'll amend the police report.
Do you have an amended
Absolutely.
police report?
So, if somebody goes out into oncoming traffic and they get hit, are they still responsible if it was oncoming traffic?
Definitely. They have to yield to give the right of way to the people coming.
So even if the other person hits, still responsible?
Yes. I think that the person coming out is responsible. They are the people who have the right of way. So
And final word?
They're definitely responsible because you're supposed to look the other way.
And not go if you see traffic.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious going inside the courtroom.
And they told me, they said, and the pictures indicate clearly that you were out on Amboy Road.
The picture's this. This is it. This is the clincher. This is the clincher. This, because it's not straight. I know that at the point of impact, you had like split second just backed out. I know that because of the angle of your car vis-a-vis the line on the road. I can tell that you hadn't quite yet straightened out, which means you just backed out. Backed out into oncoming traffic. I know you have this theory that he hit you on purpose. Somehow he planned that you'd be pulling out of the driveway.
It's not just a theory. It's just, if I didn't get this letter from them saying that he was in an accident with this motorcycle.
Did you have an accident in February 2010 with the motorcycle?
In 2010, yes. Yes, I did.
So did you get it fixed?
Yes, I did.
I mean, the fact that you know he had a prior accident, you only know it through an insurance company, which means he had it fixed. That's what reporting it to the insurance company is for, to get it fixed. So that doesn't prove that there was prior damage just before he hit you. Put your hand down. It certainly doesn't prove he hit you on purpose in order to get his motorcycle fixed, which he has full coverage on. I mean, none of it makes sense. At the end of the day, the question is, does he have any percentage of fault? That's where the question lies. I want to know, just out of consideration, because I'm not bound by whatever an insurance company says or does, but did her insurance company offer you anything?
They offered me 50%. So that in New York State
and then
law,
his insurance, did you claim against his insurance company?
I just put a claim in, and my insurance company was going after his because I was rear-ended, and they said they would give me 15%, and my insurance company said that's not fair.
Okay. There are obviously no witnesses, or I would have heard something from someone already. You can't tell me that he was speeding. There are no skid marks. The officer doesn't mention any skid marks or any reconstruction of how fast you were going. How fast were you going?
I was doing about 20 to 25 miles an hour.
Yeah. I don't have evidence that he was speeding. I do have evidence that you pulled out in front of oncoming traffic. You have a counterclaim against him for $600 and something. I find against you on your counterclaim. I find for him on the claim. $1,006.17 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There's a defendant coming out after losing this case. You put up a good fight, but the ruling goes against you.
I just don't understand how somebody doing 20 miles an hour can do $1,000 worth of damage.
What about this sort of dangerous driveway up over the top of a hill? It's hard to see.
It's a half a mile away.
That was half a mile.
Mm-hmm. So you're not going to put up any signs that say...
Well, it's not for me to put them up. I can't put them up. The city would have to put them up.
You want to ask the city to do that?
You ever asked New York to do anything?
All right. Head right around this way. Okay. Come on in here. You satisfied how this comes out?
Yes, I am very. Judge saw the evidence and she ruled perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Come on, tell us. You were going a little faster than 20 in order to hit the back of a car like that.
No,
come on.
If I was going faster, I wouldn't be here right now, and she would have a lot more damage to her vehicle.
Why,
she had a little scuff mark. That was
if you're going 20, it only takes 10 feet to stop.
Have you ever been on a motorcycle and try to stop? You don't stop right on a dime.
Cops didn't see any slide marks.
Exactly, because I wasn't speeding.
Harvey?
Now here's a bummer. If the street's not designed properly, in fact, I think most cities, there's something called design immunity, where cities aren't responsible, even if they build a screwed up street that's very dangerous. They protect themselves, they write the laws, and basically they say we can't be sued. That will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.